evening, everybody. All right, Key. Welcome to Victory Talk.
Hey everybody, sorry, was still muted. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Victory Talk. It is Friday, everybody. It has been a long week. I don't know about everybody else, but I've never been so excited to see Friday at sundown. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. So we welcome everybody to Victory Talk Marriage Edition this evening. I am here with me, Sean, along with Lady J, and I don't know, Pastor Phil. You still Pastor Phil on Friday night?
I am Pastor Phil 24/7.
All right, so it's Lady J and Pastor Phil, and we have Lisa Bailey in the house this evening with us from Triple Money Management. All right, so tonight we are so excited. We're going to talk about finances, y'all. And I don't know how this conversation is going to go. I assume it's going to go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, as we are couples talking about money management, y'all. So strap on your seatbelts, grab a notepad, a pen, something to jot down some notes, because this is going to be some interesting information, something that's going to be able to help everybody. All right. So without further ado, we are going to introduce our guest for this evening. Miss Lisa Stringer Bailey is the owner and creator of Triple M Money Management Matters. Triple M serves women and their families with financial education and money management. She shows women how to manage money, save more money, and protect their money. So we're going to let Lisa go ahead and do a little bit of self-introduction. You can take yourself off mute, ma'am, and say hi to the people.
Well, good evening, everybody. How are you all doing? I am so excited to be here with you guys on this evening. Listen, I am your money manager. I am hailing from Flowery Branch, Georgia, down here in sweet peach land. And I have been in the financial industry for over 20 years. I was in banking for 17 of those years. And now I work in the credit area of a major gas company. But my baby, my passion, my purpose, I feel from God, is to show that his people how to manage their money better. So I use Bible principles to do that, to let people know that if you put God first in all your money matters, that we would be less, stressed about our money, or, be more abundant and have more wealth and just understand, finances better. So that's what I am here to do, hopefully to be able to help couples on tonight learn more about how to talk about their money, how to use the Bible, use some Bible verses, of what God says about money, and hopefully keep, a lot of couples together, because, unfortunately, money is one of the major reasons for separation or stress or divorce, actually, in marriages. So I feel like as African Americans, we really need to work on that, because we want to keep our family unit together. And if money is an issue, we need to fix that. We need to fix that.
All right, all right. So that is wonderful. And we are so excited to have you with us this evening. I cannot tell y'all how, much this is needed, because we all know, we think we got it all together. We do our little, household budgets, and, we think that we know that whatever it is that's going on, but we can always use some pointers and some cues. There are so many people out here that are going to be viewing tonight, not only married couples, but people in relationships, single people. We all need this information. So we are just so excited to have you with us, and we thank you in advance for just being willing to share the information, because we know that, this is your business. So we don't want you to put too much out there. We're going to give the people a little bit and then let them be able to reach out to you and contact you if they want to dig a little bit deeper. Lady J, you got anything before we jump in and get started?
I do. I do. So let's real quick run over to our commercials, because we want everybody to have this opportunity to get our new book. And when you purchase our new book, Mosaics Made from Beautifully Broken Pieces, if you purchase it during the show or anytime this evening, you will get our Seize the Day packet. So we want you to see the little ad and go to Cash App, order your book, and we will reach out to you and make sure that we get your information so that we can send you your copy of the book. So I want everybody to right now, tell somebody, text somebody, tweet somebody, and let them know that Victory Talk is on. We want everybody to get this information. And listen, a lot happens at the beginning of the show and then towards at the end of the show. But you don't want to miss the meat, the juiciness in between. So y'all let somebody know that Victory Talk is on. And then we also want to remind you that we want you to also join with us for our virtual book launch on June the 29th at 7 p.m. But guys, it's free. It's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. It's free. And there's some little, extra little tidbit things that's going to be happening during that book launch that you don't want to miss out on. So you want to go to Eventbrite and register. You've got to register. Seating is limited. So we say seating, but space is limited. And so you want to make sure that you are in the place. These are 7 dynamic women, and OMG, the resilience and what you are going to hear from them is just going to blow your mind. So I really want you to go and register to join us. Then I'm going to come back later at the end of the show to tell you about how you can get your Victory Talk mug and how you can get your shirts from the K&J collection. All right, back at you, Key.
All right. Thank you so much for those announcements. So everybody, if you're just tuning in, we are here tonight to talk about money management. So we're going to just dig right on in there with our first question, which is money management matters is a mouthful, but it's such a powerful term. It's something that I'm not sure a lot of people necessarily think a lot about, but something that we all should be educating ourselves about. So Lisa, I know that in the beginning and sharing with us, a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing. We want to know if you can tell us more about the business specifically and how you got started doing it. What motivated you? What gave you the ideas and just to put it all together to make it happen, to build your brand and to make it a business.
Well, it's a real personal story, but I'll give you the short version. I've always, since a little girl, loved the money, just love money, period. Okay? Listen, I used to play. I don't know when y'all was little, y'all remember playing store or playing house or playing, so I used to make money. That was one of the things I used to do. I used to cut money out of paper and color it green, and I always knew one day that I would work for money. And I actually had a dream that I worked in a bank. So in the banking industry, I saw how a lot of families don't know how to manage their money simply because they would come into the bank and be, of course, in a negative or overdrawn. And they be like, it's like deers in the headlight. They don't understand how they got overdrawn. And I'm like, wow, this is something that's it's an issue. It's a problem. So I was thinking to myself, okay, being in the banking industry, you got the whole corporate thing going on, and you can't get advanced because we're in a small organization. I was at a small bank. So I finally just prayed about it and asked God, I said, what can I do differently outside of banking to help people with their money? Well, then I got the idea to go back to school and get my accounting degree. So I did that, got my accounting degree, got my master's in finance and economics, and then a personal family tragedy, not really a tragedy, but something happened in my family. My sister passed away. Okay. So that took me into deeper prayer because and she was only 44. And I didn't really understand. I was asking God, well, why did she pass away? And then the kicker was she passed away with no life insurance. Okay, so I am a licensed life insurance agent as well. So I got to thinking and doing some research, and I found out that a lot of people die without life insurance. Okay, and the reason being is they don't know how to manage their money. They might have had a life insurance at one point, but because something happens, you get ill, you get bills you got to pay, whatever, they put everything else above paying a life insurance policy, right? Mm-hmm. So my whole goal was showing people how they can still have a life insurance policy, how important it is not only to leave something for your family, but to just kind of make it easier. You know, when people's going through this tragedy or going through the loss of a loved one and not having to think about the money at that time, because that should already been taken care of. So I realized that people need money management for that reason too. So for one reason, just to keep money in the bank, to keep their account from overdrawing. Another reason is to keep the essentials paid, you know, like the life insurance policy. And then third, to save more money, because that's one of my major things too. As families, we're not saving money. We're not saving for a rainy day. We're not saving our income. Look, last year showed us that we didn't know that this whole pandemic was going to come around, and a lot of people lost their jobs, you know, got sent home, everything shut down, but have money to keep paying the necessities, to keep paying rent, to keep paying water, lights, food, you know, the whole gamut, and insurance. So I can just imagine how many people have let their insurance lapse because they didn't have the money to pay it last year when they lost their job or got sent home from their job. So that's how it came about. That's my passion, because it's too many families having to go through money issues when they really don't have to, because they need some help, you know, with the management part of it. So that's how I came up with money management. And then of course we got to make sure that it matters. You know, I'm trying to let people know this most important thing in our lives is it matters, and you have got to put some focus on it. It can't just be living paycheck to paycheck for your whole life. We shouldn't have to do that when our counterparts don't do that. The wealthy don't do that, because they know how to manage their money. They know where to put their money. They know how to save their money. So I'm going to say too much.
No. You listen. It is never too much. Right. You know, it's always somebody, you can feel the passion through the airwaves, I'm sure.
Yeah, I get on my rant, honey. I be trying to pull back. Let me pull back.
Don't you pull back.
No. And I think you said something that was very key. In, you know, our counterparts, they manage differently than, you know, we color. They
It's a fact. And we don't want to admit it though. That's the thing. We don't want to admit it because we don't want people to know that we don't have money. We don't want people to know we don't know how to manage our money. But the fact is, we got to get that stigma out the way, or we are never going to, you know, move forward and move equally to our counterparts. And I'm not just talking about white people. I'm talking about Chinese, Mexican, all of them.
Right.
Outdo us as African Americans.
Right. My husband always talks about how fast money leaves our communities, and how what's the ratio you say it is?
I think the last time I looked at, $1 stays in the black community about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas $1 in the Jewish community stays about, I think it was about somewhere about a month, 2 months, somewhere in there. So it's that of how we manage money and how we keep money, and do we properly use it? Because I learned, and it took me years to learn this, that even though you work for your money should be working for you.
Absolutely. And that's what we got to learn.
Yes.
And it's not working for you sitting in a savings account in a bank. I'm sorry. You can leave some there. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of diversification.
Mm-hmm.
You put a little bit here, a little bit here, a lot of here, and a lot of here. You know, it's different places you can put your money and watch it grow and get bigger and bigger.
Right.
But we want to put it all in the savings account at the bank right down the street, so we can get to it when we want to.
You're right.
I ain't even gonna go over there today.
Yeah.
You pinch here, you pinch there, you pinch. So with all of that, that kind of leads us into our overall topic for tonight. And I got this because I remember like one of your late nights, and I was like, oh man, that's a question for marriage ministry. That is so a question for marriage ministry. Our main topic for discussion tonight is, should you or do you have to ask your spouse or significant other before you spend money?
Yes.
Now, what are you? Wait a minute. Okay, and so we've heard the thoughts from my husband. What's your thought over there, Minister Michon, Brother Michon Noble?
Depends on the household.
It depends on the household.
It's the conversation between you two. Because I can care less. Honestly, she don't ask me to spend no money, and I'm not going to ask her to spend no money.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump in there since, I think he might miss the question a little bit. It's not really, I don't look at it so much as asking to spend money, more as kind of keeping them in the know. You know, I'm not going to say, hey, baby, can I buy a pack of gum? Or is it okay, you know, if I go and spend this $20 on something? But I think, you know, collectively, we definitely on major decisions, absolutely 1,000%, you know, like major purchases or...
It's a major purchase. Because a $300 blender is a major purchase. I don't think I got no input on that one.
Okay, look.
I just heard the bus.
Let's keep it general. Now.
I told y'all we don't go left to the right. I try to let y'all know.
So,
let me jump in here and say.
Wait a minute, Lisa, because I want to throw this question out there to our viewers, because I want them to answer it. So I'm gonna repeat the question so that you guys can get an opportunity to answer, and then I'm gonna jump back to Lisa. In our main topic discussion tonight, should you or do you have to ask your spouse or significant other before you spend money? So come on, my viewers, y'all jump in there and share what your thoughts are. Come on, Lisa.
Yep. Can I get some of this right quick? Can I get some of this right quick? I'm gonna tell you. We used to have this rule that between us, if you spend more than $50, let the other one know. But now I'm gonna tell you how stuff happens, because somebody would go and spend, well, I'm gonna spend 20 here, I'm gonna spend 20 here, I'm gonna spend 20 there. You done spent $200, but I didn't spend more than 50 at one time, so I ain't gotta tell you about it.
But wait,
now the budget is all jacked up.
In my defense, okay, I'm the one that do the grocery shopping. I take care of the household things, so it's not like, sorry, Key, I'm not spending $300 on a blender.
But you know what? No, it's an agreement that was made, but you just found a way around it.
Okay, Lisa, what say you, Lisa?
Wait a minute on the $300 blender. We're not going to talk about the fact. We're not going to talk about the fact that both of us are indulging in these amazing smoothies from the $300 blender.
Oh my gosh!
You're getting your money's worth.
You got to tell me the brand.
I don't think y'all understand. I have no problem with you spending the money. You ask the question of, should you, tell your significant other, and I don't think that, unless it's going to directly affect, bills. Like if we have a budget set in place.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And that's why I said it depends on the household, because I know you take care of the bills. I will literally give for all everybody watching, I will literally give my wife my whole check as long as my bills is paid, I can care less.
Well, we didn't get to that question yet. All right, go ahead, Lisa.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Budget. You said the right word. You all have, well, most couples, this is what they should do, but this is not what's happening. What they should do is sit down and have a money plan. I don't like to call it a budget because budget seems so restrictive. So like I can't do nothing because I got to stick to this budget. But if you have a plan in place, like your plan was, Pastor, to spend $50, and then you have to let me know. That's a good plan. Now, you have to be in agreement to stick with that plan. Okay, that's the problem. You got to stick with it. Now, a second alternative to that is, and I like to tell my clients this, have several checking accounts. Okay, you need to have a checking account for the wife, a checking account for the husband, and then a joint account that you pay your bills out of. That's just like a diversification again, because you're splitting it up. Then everything that's in your wife's account, that's the money that you spend for what you want. Okay? And then vice versa, the husband's account, that's what he spends for what he wants. And then that joint account is for bills, your utilities, your necessary things. So you know that's getting paid. Okay? So that's two different options right there to fix that problem. But should you ask, when I put that out there, I got mostly answers from women because, like Lady J say, it's mostly women that's doing the shopping in the household, if you think about it. So, of course, we shouldn't have to ask our husbands if I can spend such and such on groceries or whatever. But like you say again, if it's a big purchase, you got to set something out. $100, $300. If it's over that amount that you have set, then yeah, you need to have a discussion. A lot of people said, no, I don't ask them, but we do discuss it. It's a discussion factor, to keep that trust. Like the Nobles have, y'all got a good trust system. He trusts you to pay all the bills and not squander the money, and you're going to get the things that your family need. Now, if you needed that $300 blender to make these smoothies because y'all on a wellness plan, y'all trying to lose weight, y'all trying to get y'all eat right and all that, then yeah, that's good. But I'm talking about, let's say it was a purse, okay? Because that's one of my guilty pleasures. I'm not going to spend, if I see a purse for $300, I'm not going to spend that without discussing it with my husband. Unless that separate account got $300 in it that I can spend at my discretion. Because I'm a saver. So when I see big purchases like that, I save for it. So I put it in my little discretionary account, and that's what I use. And I may not tell them about it because that's my money. You see what I'm saying? Because it's separate. That's how we do ours. But like Brother Noble said, each household is different. Okay? You all have to sit down and discuss how y'all want your finances ran. But the problem is, a lot of us are not discussing it. Yeah. So if you're not discussing it, hopefully after this show, you will be more amped to discuss it because you want to make sure your money is managed right in your family and in your household.
Miss Victoria said, my husband isn't interested in finances. I try to share, but he doesn't want to know about the bills other than are they paid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Rita said it depends on the couple. Hey, Rita. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we it seems like it, and it does. It depends on the couple and the household. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what I do want to ask you about, because I know when Pastor and I, we talk to married couples when we're doing counseling, when we're doing marriage counseling. We talk about the combining of finances, because the whole when we become one, we join together and things of that nature. And so I heard you say that it's helpful to have his, hers, and ours. And so I've never really, necessarily heard anybody say that, especially when it comes to, money management. But, I kind of see your point in that. and diversifying. But so it sounds like you do when you are, I guess, working with couples. You do encourage them to have yours, his, and my, or ours, his, hers, and ours.
Yeah, if it's a problem where money is being spent frivolously in the account, because when I help people manage their money, I'm looking at their bank statement because that's the banker in me. I'm looking at where the money's going. Who spent this and why you spend that? Stuff like Starbucks coffee, that's the big one nowadays. Everybody got to have that. Eating out for lunch every day. Those type of expenses add up, and that could really eat into a money plan, okay, if all the money's together. That's why I kind of like to separate it out. So that could be your discretionary money, and you already know that this is all I got to pay. I'm not touching the hour account for the going out to eat, the drinks, or the shirt, or if you're out shopping with the girls, that type of thing right there. So I do encourage it, especially if I see a lot of spending going on in the budget or in the money plan. If I don't see that and it look like everything's working good when it's together, then of course keep it. If it's working, keep it that way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if we're talking about saving money and I see ain't no savings coming out, I'm thinking, okay, we got to do something different. And it's just the option,
Yeah.
to have different accounts.
Miss Victoria said, "Well, I'm frugal, and I will not spend $300 for a purse. It doesn't work any better than the $30 one."
How about it, honey? Tell her I totally agree, but I'm a purse junkie. I think I have spent about $300 on a purse. That was a Dooney and Burt that I bought years ago. This is like
wow.
when in my 20s, before I really started thinking, "Oh, this is ridiculous." But yeah, I totally agree.
All right.
That actually brings us to our next question. So we want to talk about savings a little bit. So I think that the struggle for most may be trying to come up with ways to save money when they are indeed living paycheck to paycheck, like you were saying earlier. So aside from the, traditional savings account, what suggestions can you give for our viewers who are experiencing this type of dilemma? Because I know that, it's hard to save money, or it can be harder to save money if you feel like your budget is exceeding your bills, or you might have like only $5 left over from your paycheck. So like what suggestions do you give to people in those types of situations?
Right. So again, we have to look at where you're spending your money. Okay. If you're spending on wants versus needs, you need to cut the needs out. The wants, I'm sorry. You got to cut the wants out, stuff that you want. Okay, for instance, if you got a habit, a lot of people got these habits. The Starbucks is one. Maybe cigarettes is one. Maybe buying lottery tickets is one. Whatever you are frivolously spending your money on, and it's just flowing out, and you don't even know, that's where you need to start tightening up, okay? We got to get into a habit of sacrifice, okay? If we know we live in paycheck to paycheck, we need to start thinking, what can I sacrifice to get my spending under control, to be able to save money, to not have more months than money, okay? That's one thing. Number two is if you sacrifice and you cut back and you cut out the habits and all that, the second thing is you need more income coming into the household, unfortunately. You need more income. So then you got to figure out, well, how can I get more income? You got to think about the job you at. Do I need more skills? Do I need to take a class? Do I need to ask for a raise at my job? Do I need to, maybe get a side hustle? Like, whatever your passion is, whatever you like to do. If you like to bake, maybe I can bake some cakes and sell them for $30 a pop. Figure something out. You got to have more income coming in. And then you got to look at your debt. Maybe you in too much debt. So you got to start tackling that debt. I mean, if you're spending money, you put stuff on credit cards, that is just the total destruction of a money plan, okay? So you just have to sacrifice that. Cut those credit cards up. Start paying them
Amazon.
You know, Nike, all these big corporations that got stock in you and you purchasing that stuff all the time, you need to own stock in it. And that's where you can start making some extra money and saving more.
Yes, yes. Miss Victoria, she said, bless your heart. She talking a lot tonight, y'all. She said, bless your heart. That's why I love my grown people, children. They give wonderful gifts. I think she was still talking about the purse. And then she comes back and she said, I learned a lot over this. Where we go? She said, I learned a lot over this pandemic season. The more I tithe, the more I am blessed with more to save. Woohoo, look at God. She is so, man, I'm trying to tell you.
That's on a whole nother level.
That's a whole nother
right
level.
Yes.
Yes.
Start doing that, she done say the truth right there.
Yeah.
I try to tell people that too once we get into the Bible, get into the Bible thing, the Bible of it is like, this is what you need to do right here.
Right.
If you're not doing it already. So, yeah, time is big.
I know we were talking about credit cards. You briefly mentioned it a second ago, but I want to, just talk a little bit more about that. So a lot of people rely on credit cards and plan to use them as a quick fix, but wind up in a financial rut instead. So what do you say about credit cards? Can they be a good thing if used the right way, or do you advise people to stay clear of them altogether? What's your guidance or your thoughts on, relying on credit cards?
Right. Okay. Credit can be good. Okay. Don't get me wrong. All credit ain't bad. Because, the old adage of home ownership is the American dream. So if that's something that you are looking to do as a couple, a young couple, want to purchase your first home, you got to have some type of credit. Okay? And the only way to get credit is pretty much is to either have a credit card, buy a car, have some type of open line of credit. Like you said the right thing. Credit used correctly. We got to learn how to use it correctly. Get you one major credit card. Okay? Use that and try your best to pay it off every month. If you can pay it in full, that's the best thing. Okay, because you don't want to get in the habit of letting the balance roll over. Because what you wind up doing is paying more than what you originally put on the card. Okay?
Right.
So, used correctly is paying it off. But if you can't pay it off, for God's sake, don't just pay the minimum. Okay? Pay a little bit over the minimum. If the minimum is $20, pay $50 if you can. Because the quicker you get it paid off, the better. But like I said, you need some type of credit to build your credit. So when you do decide to make the big purchases, like the car payment or your home or rental property or, nowadays to get insurance, they may, health insurance, they may pull your credit. So you got to have some type of credit record, with the credit bureaus. And so that's the reason why, one reason why you need a credit card is just to build you a credit record. Don't get a credit card just to buy something, just to be buying and shopping, okay? Because the department stores, that's what they there for, is to push that credit card on you. And they will do it in a heartbeat and tell you saving money. Oh, I can save you 20% today if you get this credit card. Lies, okay? They lies. Just know that up front. Lies. But if you get a credit card, don't get a department store card. Get either a major credit card, a Visa card, a MasterCard, American Express card, one of the major ones that you can use everywhere, okay? And only use it if you need to, and then pay it off if you can every single month.
One of the things about credit cards that I find to be so frustrating is that when these young folks come out of high school and they're going off to college, they throw credit cards at them left and right. Look, they just getting out of mama and daddy's house. They going off to college. And then you want to give them all this credit, just right out the door. They go buck. Wow. And then they come home. They come home with credit issues.
With credit, with debt. And they don't know that about that's why we got to teach them at home. Look, they don't teach them at school
Right.
about debt.
Right.
What debt does to you, how it can be a bad thing, how it can be a good thing, how to use it correctly. So that's another thing. As a family unit, we got to start teaching our children in high school as they're getting ready to go out in the world. Don't get no credit cards. I got a 22-year-old. I already told him, don't get no credit card. Please.
And you know what? Even starting, even earlier than that, because our struggle right now, we have 11, how old is he? 11, 12? I lost track. Lord, we have a 12-year-old, and we're trying to teach him the importance of savings right now. And that boy, I tell you, and of course, because they're children, as fast as they get a dollar, as fast as it's going out. So, we're in that battle now of trying to teach him, okay, if you get $20 and you want to spend 10, spend 10 and save 10. Let that 10 roll over, so you're absolutely right about teaching them. And I feel like starting the earlier the better, because as they mature, and see like kind of how money is spending. And then when they get to the point where they're like, oh, I want to buy this $300 thing. Well, you're a little short there because you've been pinching, instead of doing what I told you to do. So yeah, even, I would say even at the preteen / beginning stages, start.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Middle school, honey. Look, when they start asking you for a cell phone, that's when you need to teach.
There you go.
6th grade wanting a cell phone. Really? How you gonna pay for it?
There you go.
You might have to save up your allowance. Honey. So yeah, the earlier the better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's leading us right on into our next question to talk about, savings and retirement. And so we know a lot of times people wait until way later in life before they really start to think about retirement, 401ks, IRAs, stuff like that. I remember, when I was in high school, I had a science teacher who used to try to teach us these things because, like you said, they don't teach them in school. And, he used to talk to us, spend like 15, 20 minutes of the class period explaining to us about his retirement accounts, these IRAs and these, stocks and bonds and stuff, and showing us how much money he was going to have at retirement, from doing it early. And we were like, oh, wow, like this is really cool. And so, when do you think that people need a financial advisor, or, is there such a thing as starting too soon?
No, absolutely not. I think as soon as you get your first job, you need to start thinking about retirement and putting some of that income into a retirement account outside of that job. Because most jobs now is going to offer you a 401k. And if they do, definitely take it, especially if they match. If they match your contribution, you definitely want to take it. But you need to have something outside of that as well to start putting away for your retirement. Because like you said, the longer we wait, the less we're going to have, okay? And inflation is booming. It's every 10 years, it's costing more and costing more to live. So by the time 30 to 40 years pass by in your retirement, look, you're going to have 4 to 5 times more money than you got right now. Right. So the sooner the better. I would say, yeah, as soon as you got your first job. Look, and even as a teenager, if teenagers are working, go ahead and start putting about some money. You can open up an IRA. You can open up an investment account for your children now. You can do all that and start setting them up early.
Miss Victoria said, can you put that up there? Yeah. Miss Victoria said, do you think it is a wise decision to invest in the stock market, or should the 401k be enough for retirement?
Now, you definitely want to invest in something outside of the 401k. The stock market is really good because you can earn some money, but it's a risk. It's a risk because you can lose money as well if stocks start falling and the economy start going crazy, or something bad happens in the world. You know how they start saying the stocks are down, then you're going to be losing money. But definitely, I think it's a good idea to invest in the stock market. Don't invest your whole thing. Don't put everything you got out there. It's just and that's diversification again. Take maybe 20% of your income, put it in the stock market, put it in different stocks, put it in, Nowadays they got apps now. They got the Robinhood app, a Webull app, a lot of stock apps that you can put on your phone, and you can put as little as $5 on there and buy what they call fractional stock. So you're not putting a whole lot of money out there, but you putting something in there, because when stocks go up, you winning.
Right.
But and if you get you a financial advisor that you trust, they'll let you know, go ahead and cash out, because they might have an inkling that stocks are gonna fall, and then you can go ahead and cash out and put that little money somewhere else. But if you ride the wave, and this kind of depends on your age. If you are older, let's say 45, 50 years up and older, you want to be more conservative, okay? You might want to take it out because you don't want to lose no money. But if you starting in your 20s, you can just leave it in there and let it ride, because it's going to go back up, and then you'll have a chance to what they call rebound. So this kind of depends on your personal situation, your age, but definitely I would recommend it for sure.
And see, with something like that, I think, certain things, and that's why it's good to have a partnership, whether it's your spouse, if it's, long-term relationship, whatever it is that you have, because this guy, I'll be looking at him for certain stuff like, help, because as you're talking about I would like to invest in certain things, but I'm scary. And I'll be like, I'll be watching it. And I'm like, all right, it then went down $1. Oh Lord, I'll be panicking.
Well, don't watch it. Yeah, you don't want to watch it, because that will scare you.
Yeah, so I'm like, I would have to let him, manage that part of things, because if it goes down a little bit, I'll be like, oh no, pull it out, and then next day it might go up like $100, and then I'm like, man.
Then you mad, So that's why you don't watch it. I'd say look at it maybe quarterly. I look at my accounts quarterly, my investment accounts, because I'm, just put it in there and let it ride. But like if what they call day traders, people that look at it every day, they pulling in, they putting out. Girl, that's a whole nother job.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Unless you got time for that, then hey, do that.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, I've been investing here and there, and so one of my one of my rules that I do is I look at investing in what I use. Okay, so if it's something I use, I know I'm already spending on it. So it's I'm kind of spending money, and money is coming back to me. I look
Yes.
and I look at things that I understand, that I can wrap my head around. So I don't go into like the fad, when GameStop just went crazy and people was throwing money in it, but then that balloon burst.
Yeah, that's too risky. Yeah.
Because that's something that you really have to get in, watch, get out.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, but when you look at, I've often found, one thing that we talked about earlier was life insurance. And so I found a whole lot of people who do not have life insurance because it doesn't fit into their budget until something happens.
That's what I've been talking about, yeah.
And so what I've kind of found is that, the importance of life insurance, and I'm not, and I got to the point where I don't say it doesn't fit into my budget. I make my budget revolve around it, because that day is going to come for all of us sooner or later. Right. And so my thing is that, when my time comes, it's already this crazy time. And so I don't want, Jackie trying to figure out, how we going to throw him in the ground.
Okay, look. Yeah. Look, like I like to say, GoFundMe is not a beneficiary plan.
And you know what? Say that again for the people in the back, because I'm telling you, people, not just GoFundMe, but they have, all of these different ones now, and people are really seeing, and yeah, it's great that, in some cases they raise more than enough money, but you can't depend on that. What if, nobody donates a dime to your cause?
Right.
And, that's just, no.
Yeah. And then too, they may raise enough money, just like you said, put them in the ground. But what about the bills that are left behind?
Right.
What about that mortgage that was left behind?
Yeah.
What about the children? If they got children, now what the children gonna do?
Good job.
They waiting on the government to give them a Social Security check.
Right. So, Michonne, you ready to say something?
Y'all just said what the kids going to do. I said they better get a job. Dad gone.
See, you ain't right.
The little ones can't get no job. Oh Lord! All right, so I'm gonna just rewind back just a little bit back to the stock question, because we had some comments in there. So Rita said, my husband and I teach our 17-year-old daughter about money management, setting up businesses for generational wealth. She said her in-laws lost $30,000 in stocks. Ouch. So my husband is like, no stocks for us, but she's going to talk to him about it now that, you better explained it, Miss Lisa. So she said, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Victoria says, so do you need a stockbroker to help you choose?
If you're not familiar with it, I would say yes, get a stockbroker. But like I said, if you want to do it yourself, you can download some apps. Most of the apps have tutorials. You can YouTube it, tutorials. If you're going to start small, you can do it yourself, because a stockbroker is going to charge you fees.
Right.
I don't use a stockbroker, so I don't even know what the fees are, but I know it's fees involved. So that's really up to you in your comfort level. If you feel more comfortable having someone do it for you, then go ahead and get you a stockbroker, let them do it for you. But if you want to venture out and learn a new skill, get some information, get some knowledge yourself so you know what's going on, hey, YouTube it. Just download the app. The one I use is Webull, Webull. Got some nice tutorials on there that just show you step by step what to do. And it ain't a whole lot of money. It's like $100 to get started.
And what's that one called?
It's Webull, Webull.
But
And I'm glad you threw that out there, though, because we're talking about money management, and if it's gonna cost more money to hire that stockbroker,
right?
Everything is on YouTube, Google. So
Mm-hmm.
Lady J and I, listen, we are Google queens. Do you hear me? Anything that we can find for free 99.
That's it, girl. I'm all about the free. I'm all about the free, because you think about the money you about to spend it. Give to them, making them rich. You better put that money in your savings account.
Right.
Put that money in that investment.
And one of the biggest. I'm sorry.
Well, I use Robinhood, but here's one thing. Even if you get a broker, you shouldn't just really say, "Well, I'm gonna get a broker. I'm gonna give them this money." You should know what you are investing in.
True.
Because if you're just gonna give them your money, and then they come back to you, oh man, that thing crapped out. So
you should know why.
You should know what's going on with your money. And so I know some people say, well, I don't want to deal with that. It's your money.
Right.
That's it.
And so
if
you just want to give it away, I will stop by your house, I will pick it up, and you can just give it to me.
Okay.
One of the things that I like about the stock thing now is because initially stock, getting involved with stocks wasn't made for necessarily our people, because we don't necessarily or may not have had the free money. Sometimes, people are just trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, trying to keep the BG&E on, keep the, roof over their heads. But now what they have done with stocks, you can buy a slither. You can put a stock on layaway, so to speak. And so you can buy a piece here, a pinch here, a piece here, and so you get a fraction. That's what it's called. Thank you for fixing, sis.
Yeah.
You can buy a fraction of it until you accumulate enough to have a whole share. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And there are so many different ways of doing it. I think one Christmas, I was on Groupon and they had this stock bundle, this little stock bundle that you could buy, which, had a little bit of this. And I bought it as a gift for Phil. And, and so he could, log on there and then he can, choose which one of the, what do you call them?
Stocks.
Which one of the stocks? Yeah, which one of the stocks that he wanted to, have, I guess, a part of his portfolio. And I think he gave you like 3 of them for like $20-some or maybe even $50. But those are some of the, and I'm sharing this to say that there are ways that you can get into purchasing stocks and investing that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Tina had a comment. Let's see that. What about E-Trade? Hey, Tina. She says, what about E-Trade? TD Ameritrade. What are your thoughts on those really easy to... Wait a minute. What are your thoughts on those really easy to use? No fees. You can do it yourself. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely can. That's just like I was saying. You would rather do it yourself so you'll have the knowledge of where your money is going. Okay? You'll know. You're going to have that wisdom, that knowledge. So definitely do it yourself. Yeah, because like I said, even on E-Trade, Ameritrade, all of them got tutorials. You just have to go on there and play around and pull up the tutorials and listen to them. And, don't jump in right away. Sometimes it takes people 2 or 3 times to listen to something so they can get it. And when you're dealing with stocks, that's a very complicated thing. So take your time with it, but definitely do it.
And one of the nice things about doing it yourself, I think, is that you gain more knowledge when you are, doing it yourself and you're teaching it to yourself. Because a stockbroker is not always going to take the time to give you the background, to give you the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom that you need so that you know how to check, and you need to check behind them. So for those of you out there who decide to use a stockbroker, make sure you know how to check behind them because it's your money. It's your money. Let me say that again. It's your money. And you need to know what's going on in the background. Okay, Key, go ahead.
So, our last question that we want to try to get in here, because I know we're winding down on time now. So we want to talk about credit reporting and scoring a little bit. It seems like paying your bills on time, paying credit off, and things like that make your score move at a snail's pace. But then as soon as you pay something late or apply for a line of credit, your score seems to plummet. Even with the soft taps that they call them, it's still affecting your score. So what are the best ways to track and build credit or rebuild credit? And what are your thoughts on debt consolidation?
Ooh, girl.
I know, that's a whole mouthful.
Right.
That's a lot. But what she said is right. It takes a while to rebuild credit. You can start, and especially if you coming from a 300, 400 score and trying to get it up to 600, that's going to take a while because it's a slow process. But like you say, I don't really know a lot about how the credit bureaus work because it's 3 of them, Experian, Equifax, and that other one. I can't think of it right now, but it's 3 of them. TransUnion. All of them work differently. You're going to have a different score on all 3 of them. I would suggest you get some expert that works in that realm. It's financial people that work specifically with the credit bureaus, and they can tell you how they work because they're very complicated. Rebuilding your credit. Let me just say this. I'm not a fan of debt consolidation, especially if you're doing a company that does that, because that company is going to charge you a fee to do it, okay? And that's the money that you could put toward that debt yourself. The smart thing for you to do, if you take the time, you got to sacrifice some time for this now, is get on the phone with your debtors and say, what can I do to pay this off quickly? Can I negotiate interest? Can I negotiate zero interest for the next 12 months if I pay it off in 12 months? Give me a payment plan. What they call it, don't close the card, but freeze the card. Freeze it so I can't use it no more. You know, I'm trying to get this paid off. I'm trying to fix my credit. I'm trying to buy a house. Talk to them. Let them know the situation. And see about getting that set up for yourself when you're dealing with your credit. I'm trying to think of some people that I have worked with that. I know it's some companies out there that are reputable, and it's some out there not so much. So do your due diligence. If you're looking at a company for debt consolidation, or you're looking at a company to help you get your credit report straightened out, get some referrals. Okay, Google them. Go to the Better Business Bureau. Don't use one that you just found online or came across your TV, you know, in them infomercials. Don't use them. Ask around. That's another thing about our people. Lord, don't let me get on this rant.
Come on now.
They don't want to ask for help in our community, okay? Just go to someone. Go to your pastor. Go to your local bank. Go to a friend that you trust, a family member that you trust, and say, look, I'm going through this. I need to find out how I can get my credit straightened out. And 9 times out of 10, they'll know somebody that knows somebody that can give you a referral. Because you'd rather go with somebody that is a referral than go with some stranger that's probably going to take your money and they're not going to do what they say they're going to do. And then you're not going to be no better off, you know. So due diligence is most important. If you got the time, do it yourself. If you don't have the time, ask for help. Ask for help. Yeah. So, you know, somebody like me, I'm your money manager. Ask me. I don't specialize in it, but I do know people that do. And they got what they call receipts.
Right.
Ask for the receipts, which is your reviews. Who else have you helped?
Right.
Give me a review. I need to talk to somebody that have used your service.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be scared to ask for a referral or a review. Because if they're legitimate, they're gonna give you a review.
They want to give it. They want to give it to you, right?
Yeah, and get that person on the phone, and you can tell when you're talking to somebody if it's real or not. Use your intuition.
Yeah.
That woman's intuition or men's intuition. You know you be able to trust them or not.
Right.
But yeah, it's very important if you having troubles in your credit, get your credit straightened out because we need to have better credit scores.
Right.
You know, the average credit score is 600. Maybe under 600. We need to get it up to 750 or above.
Yes.
We need to do better.
So, Lisa, as we are about to close out, I want Miss Victoria made a she made a good point. Or she made a good comment, let me say that. And I know that you have some principles, you know, related to what God says about our finances. And I want you maybe to share a little bit on this before we close out. In terms of percentage, Jesus gets 10%. So nobody else can get more than 5%. She says, don't judge me, I'm frugal. So what does the Bible say in reference to, you know, well, we know what the Bible says about tithes, but what are some other principles you can give, you know, or share with the people regarding their finances and who gets what?
Okay, well, of course, it's the 10%, you know. God say, give me your 10th and give it cheerfully, okay? And watch him do his work. Amen. You know, I've been doing a 30-day challenge, right? And I'm using, if y'all got the Bible app, okay? Everybody should have the Bible app that's listening to this. If y'all Christians, y'all download that Bible app, okay? And it's what they have plans on there, money plans. Look up your money plan. I'm doing one now every night for the last 20 days. I'm on day 25. And it got some very good Bible verses in there that you can refer to that tells you what God say. We all know it's the 10th. Okay, if you give your 10th and you give it with faith that God is gonna work it out. Look, this is what God don't want. What people do is pay all their bills, do their little this, do that, do that, and give God what's left.
Right.
No, ma'am, no, sir. No, ma'am. God said, give me your first fruits.
All right.
And that means first. And then there's another Bible verse in there that says, I'm not good with my verses, but I kind of know what they say. On the first day of the week, you go ahead and plan out what you're going to give. Okay? He said, give 10. If you got 20, give 20. But now if you don't have your 10, at least give 1. Give 5. Give what you got. God is a parable in the Bible where the lady only gave her last. Everybody else was going up there throwing in the big treasures, the big amounts of money. But then that one lady that came up and gave her last, he said she the one that has given the most because that was her last. So if you need to give your last with faith, do that and watch God work. Because he said he will fill our barns, our barnyards. He will overflow our cup. Y'all know all the sayings.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
Just do your 10th. And that's simple. I mean, that's simple mathematics. It ain't nothing hard. Because
Right.
if you make $10, you need to give $1, right?
Yeah. You better get that calculator if you don't know it.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah, if you do that, I feel like, look, everything else can fall into place. Because God talks a lot, too, about everything that we have is his anyway.
Right.
Okay? It's not our money. We go around here saying that's our money, that's my money, I made this, I made that. Lord, no. God done said, I'm the one that gave you the ability to go out and work and make this money.
Yes.
Okay? The least you could do is come back and give it a 10th to, upholding my worship center. Like I tell people in my church, look, the church don't run on free. It's not a profit, but when you call that light bill place, they don't be like, you non-profit, you ain't got to pay.
Right.
No, sir, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
You got all the bills, it's like at your house. So if you taking care of your household, you need to be taking care of God's house as well.
Well, you know what?
Wow.
You know what? So I'm going to chime in on that.
Uh-oh.
Because,
Go ahead, sir.
because
Pastor.
the Bible says, bring the tithe, bring your tithe. Now, it doesn't say give.
Right.
Because give implies that it's yours and then you give it to me. God says, bring it. It's mine.
Mercy.
Bring
Break
it.
it down.
And so hence, I've never been one of those preachers, and I never will be one of those who say that you need to dig deep. But there are some requirements that God has, and the tithe, for all y'all thinking, the tithe is not about your money. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not about your money. It's your faith walk.
Yes.
It's not about your money. You know what? You ain't got to pay your tithe. You don't. But see, your tithe is part of your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because he is saying, trust me. That's the only time in the Bible God says, try me. You try.
Watch me work.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. That was his 2 cents.
Yeah. Now look, I've been looking for this Bible verse and I found it. I want to leave this with the viewers. And then when someone said them children better go get them a job. Let me tell you what the Bible say, y'all. This is Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. Okay?
Yes.
That's what we call that. Generations. Generations ahead of us, okay? His children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. That's all I'm saying. We got to do better about leaving a legacy for our children. Not just our children, but their children.
Yes. And
We
in
gotta
that
teach.
legacy, and leaving that legacy, we've got to teach them to
Teach.
leave the legacy. So
Yes.
it goes on from generation to generation to generation. So
Yes.
we've got to, do, better about teaching
Mhm.
our children so that they can teach their children and they can
That's right.
teach their children. And it doesn't just stop with our children,
Mhm.
because your children are my children.
Mm-hmm.
My children are your children. Yes, Pastor. Yes, Pastor. Yes, and I'm getting we don't even got 5 minutes left. We just over. All right, y'all. So we just over.
It's all good.
Yes. It's just about a few minutes. But this was some good information. This was some good knowledge. And so we just thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Our church girl CEO sister. We say thank you, and we are excited to have you with us. And we look forward to having you come back. I was a little disappointed that your husband wouldn't come on with you, but that's okay. Even though it was a marriage edition, this was information that needed to get out there. So you make sure you tell your husband we say hello, and he
I
was some fun.
I certainly will. I appreciate you all having me on. And listen, everybody out there, y'all follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook at Lisa Stringer Bailey. And my business page is Triple M, Money Management Matters. Follow me, get some tips. I put out tips. I'm on my 30-day challenge where I'm reading the Bible plan and, just see what God says about money. And let's get our money better. Let's get our money in order. Let's do better, people. Let's save more, too. And teach each other.
Yes.
Teach each other. Absolutely.
Yes. And so as we are closing out, Key and I just want to remind you that tonight, even at any time tonight, before midnight, if you purchase our book, Mosaics Made from Beautifully Broken Pieces, if you purchase your book tonight, before midnight tonight, you will get the Seize the Day packet. This is the last opportunity. We were only doing the Victory Talk shows. And this is the last show of the month. This is the last show.
And just to piggyback off of that, if you've already bought your book, purchase a book for somebody else, and then you too can still get the basket.
Yes.
Don't think about that gift that you can put out there for somebody.
That's right. And so I love it. And then we want to remind you, we only had, listen, y'all, these cups went like hotcakes. I didn't bring one down tonight with me, but we only have 5 cups left. We only have 5 of the Victory Talk mugs left. So you want to get your Victory Talk mug? They were limited editions. They were only for our anniversary. They are gone. They are just about gone. And then we want to encourage you that you will go to our website and check out our K&J collection. We have some shirts, and we are taking orders now, and we want you to make sure that you get your Victory Talk shirt as well. So that is and make sure, last but not least, listen, you guys do not want to miss this virtual book launch. Come on, y'all, join us. Come on and join us for our virtual book launch. It is on Tuesday, June the 29th at 7 p.m. Get you something good to eat. Get down in front of your computers or your TVs or your phone, or however you do, and share in these women. We have to celebrate each other. Amen. We have to celebrate how good God is for each other, because what he does for me, he will surely do for you. So run on down to Eventbrite and register. It's free. It's free. And we want you to come and share in that with us. Lisa, have you registered?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, man. All right, man. You said you waiting on your book?
Uh-huh.
They coming. Yes. And so that is our show for tonight. We are so grateful that you took the time to join in with Victory Talk, our marriage edition. And we are looking forward to seeing you again really soon. I am your host, Lady J, and
It's your girl Key signing off.
and we look forward to seeing you guys real soon. So you have a awesome, wonderful night. Enjoy your weekend, and we love you like no other. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Stay with us, Lisa.